You can't press. You'll die. Learned it from my set with you. I learned it from your set with subs. Because there was a couple times where you did back turn shoulder.
Jack 7.
He jabbed. You went right under it. And
well, that's because it high crushes. So
yeah.
If you did like a mid move, like a DF1 or anything mid, that's not free.
Okay, it'll still.
So if I'm in back turn and I do back turn biceps, it's not super unsafe. But don't jab because I will go for snake edge every time.
Yeah.
Like every single time. But overall, I think that was a pretty good overall set. I definitely think I started to choke some of that shit away. When I started to do misinputs, then it started to crumble from there.
Yeah.
Because I kept it clean from like 1-2, 1-3. So I kept it like within tie range or one game range. And then the moment he had taken off was really when I picked that infinite stage. That was a horrible idea. That was not.
I mean, honestly, I thought that might have worked out for you a little bit better. But just getting the ability to poke and run away.
But overall, let's get into our final match of the night. It's going to be Hitbox's own Phatboi going up against BLITZ. We're going to have Orang versus Jack. Now, I know for a fact that this is not one of his favorite matchups at all. One, Jack, you don't get to go anywhere. You can't move. You might as well be playing 2D against Orang where you have to guess.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a bit of a struggle, especially on a stage like Soup where you don't have a lot of room to breathe.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder if we'll see a character, a stage switch at any point in this set.
I would definitely say he'll probably win switch to a stage. Most likely an infinite stage because he's definitely a hard whip punish monster.
Yeah.
And when he's at the wall, when Jack's back is at the wall, Bray, when you have your back on the wall against Jack, you should kind of hurt yourself. But you don't have really too many reasons to be afraid with a character like that.
Yeah.
Best defense is a good offense, and that's quite literally all Orang is.
Yeah, I mean,
wow. A whiff punish of that jackhammer.
He just barely spaced that jackhammer. Back that shit, got the down forward too.
Oh, didn't get the shoulder because of the side wall. He got him at the walls where you don't want to be. Nice patience.
There's that wall situation you were talking about, but Phatboi immediately.
Oh, that's gonna be a punish.
Good whiff punish.
Very clean, very clean.
Tries to come through with the overhead, eats a back 3 first drop.
Slowly trying to poke out with the 2 jab here. And a DF2 right on time.
I like that.
By far one of the best DF2s in the game. He hits from downtown. He just happens to play 2 of the characters with 2 of the best DF2s. He has Paul Phoenix, safe on block, can't be sidestepped. And you got Jack, who literally hits you by a fingernail.
Yeah, I mean, it's an excellent whip punisher. Obviously, being -14 on block, never a great thing, but you definitely want to take that range. Great skyrocket.
Though that's gonna for the wall. Doesn't get the full damage though.
And there's that situation. Let's see how
a little too slow to the punish. He's got. Oh my God! Vamos a la robato! And he's gonna steal that one. That was titanium nutsack.
You bet it all.
He did, and that was only game 1, mind you. Nice break. Probably went to go for a Volcano Buster there. Nice break of the 2 break. Jackhammer, nice patience. Yeah, also, just as a note, down back 3 is technically 0 on the hit, so Jack, unlike most characters, he can't really take his turn back depending on what character you have. You see down back 3, maybe go for a quick 13 frame mid, 14 frame mid, you might be able to interrupt. Yeah. Jack, however, you gotta hold that. And again into the mix-ups here, slowly poking away. A little too far for the punish, a little too far.
Can he not get 2-1 there? Can he not get 2-1 there?
2-1, it would have, with just barely. I've seen it with from that range. DF2 might have, but not 2-1. And Tech is left on the clock, and there we go, right on schedule.
These keep out DF2s from Phatboi really paying off.
Mans is a whiff punish monster.
I mean, the successful DF2s I've seen out of him haven't even been whiff punishes. Exactly. They've been keep out DF2s. They've been saying, hey, get out of my face. I'm not going to let you just run all over me.
Exactly. And to a certain degree, it kind of makes it a little easier for Jack to use that as a keep out tool versus a character like Orang, because Orang doesn't really get a big 13 frame or 14 frame punish. Yeah. As it like Fang, for example, you get a shoulder, you get a knockdown. So he's a little reason to be scared of getting a punish. And if he spaces it right, then he's in the clear anyway.
It's a big boot. We're coming up on the final moments.
Ooh, sidewall saves. Not that though. Counter hit confirm. And he's gonna make him watch the slideshow.
You hate
That
to
is
see it.
one in favor of BLITZ.
Get hit by the counter hit firecracker.
You win.
The winner stays on.
Oh,
baby.
Oh,
What's
okay.
that?
Might
So
have
afterwards,
that.
we will have a word from our sponsor, XIT's own Commando. That first game 100% could have gone in his favor, but I don't know. I'm assuming he might have gone for a get up kick on wake up, and he hit it on the nail with that confirmed launcher. So
Yeah.
that's gonna. I think that was still fairly close. That could have gone either way. I don't think that tells the tale of the rest of this game. Let's look into the second game, see how this goes. I think it could go to game 8, game 9.
Yeah, I mean, let's taking a risk because obviously that move easily confirmed duck on block or on hit actually. So,
and they're playing very, very slowly at the moment. So, like 15 seconds left on the clock. I've only seen like maybe 5 buttons hit so far.
yeah, love to see it. Each player is just focusing on spacing, controlling that range.
And he actually, I just realized he did not choose Infinite Stage. He did choose Kinder Gym. I still think that's a fine option. Really big stage, you have plenty of room to breathe, but still those walls to enact your pressure. Yeah, from that range, he can't really punish you.
Can does forward 2 connect?
Not from that range. Still too far.
Wow. Okay.
I'm shocked myself. He's got long limbs,
Yeah.
but that move specifically is kind of evasive when it comes to Jack.
All right. Well,
Nice duck of the down back 3.
let's see if BLITZ abuses that in the matchup.
We're gonna slowly
Right hand pressure. Oh, backlash. That was
backlash with
beautiful.
nice DF2. Not
that's-
quite to the wall, but he's slowly pushing him there.
And that's not an easy move to whip punish at all.
And then just slowly trying to keep him at the wall where he wants him. Oh, that's gonna be punish. So nice
Not quite.
punish 1-1. Again, just the pressure right at the wall. Stay where I want you to. Oh, no duck. For plunk. It's for breakfast.
Down
Yeah.
forward 1. Over line.
Round
Very
3.
Man, Phatboi, over the last couple months, this player is absolutely leveled up.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Phatboi is definitely one of the resident threats of Philly Edition. Coming from Street Fighter into Tekken and still doing some pretty big damage. My man's out here doing work. We pretty much consider him a Tekken player now.
Oh, I mean,
He's a secondary.
I met him as a Tekken player, so there you have it.
You would have never guessed that he plays Street Fighter, would you?
Well, I mean, he told me he plays Dolphin, so.
But if he never told you, would you have guessed?
No, not initially. Not initially.
And keep in mind, you're actually coming through before the days where he played Akuma. Because originally he came through and played Akuma to start out. Hey, it's a Street Fighter character. Let's see what we can work with.
Yeah.
And
On the
then he
surface,
switched
makes
to
sense.
Jack, which requires a little bit less execution in this game, especially. Akuma requires a hell of a lot, but he can do a lot of damage. But as big as character as Jack is, where he can't really move too much, he's basically playing the same 2D game regardless. But less is more. He definitely has a very conservative playstyle, which works well with his character.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just whittling your opponent down, moves like down back 1, full crouch down forward 1, just regular down forward 1, and obviously getting good whip punish is very close.
Just out of range though, but that DF2 is just, it is locked and loaded.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like he was just a pixel away from getting the launch. So.
A slight life lead, putting some jackhammer plus frames in his face.
I don't know if you noticed, but whenever BLITZ whiffs something that's just out of range for down forward 1 to hit, he charges in immediately. Doesn't go for a whip punish if he doesn't realize, if he doesn't think he'll get it. But he goes in and takes initiative.
That is a launcher.
Oh my god.
Pay for that a little bit. That's gonna hurt.
Dirty reset.
Oh, that's a lot of damage. What's for breakfast though? Interrupted. Nice interruption. That was a solid
Final
DF.
round.
Tracking to Jack's left.
Oh, and the trade. Yep, he's gonna capitalize off of that one to the wall. And Half-Life.
Oh my!
One.
Oh,
Nice
okay,
break,
but he
though.
breaks it. He knows. Tries
Oh, breaks it
again.
again. No touch.
But the wall pressure here is just... Okay, I don't hate that. You buy some time.
Nice
Buy some
punish.
time to get onto the wall.
He's got rage, so he can make this hurt, but he's still got a big deficit to make up here.
And I think Phatboi told me a while back, actually can backdash Warong's Hell Sweep.
Yes.
One of the few characters that can.
Ooh, just a little too far.
Playing a scary game, but runs
down
in
forward.
solid.
So that's 1 even. And both of those games went to final round every single time, so they're definitely keeping it close with this very compact Tekken.
Yeah.
But explosive at a moment's notice with a pop kick, a back three, or
A nice DF2 keep out or whip punish, something.
They're just right on schedule almost every time. Nice
Good punish. Jack gonna get that big boot, some chunky damage. Some good hit.
The man's got the instant loss fours on deck.
I like the check with the 2 jab.
Oh, counter hit with magic 4, and not quite. Right back into the mix-up. He's got a pretty solid deficit here.
Fighting his way off of the wall.
And just slowly trying to get some space from the wall here. Try to go for it again.
Getting back there, you go. Back dash is the option. Gets the whip on it. To him. I mean,
oh, that was an interesting exchange. I'm not sure what happened there, but it definitely did not work in his favor.
oh man, is that unblockable?
Oh, round start. That definitely wasn't even a just frame, but he still got it.
No, it wasn't. But the crouch frames of the crouch dash gave him just enough pie crush,
Just barely.
under the jab.
Again, jackhammer from some plus frames on his face, and hits him with this back hell sweep. He's got him at the wall. You do not want to be here with the fall rang.
But I mean,
Back one, keeping at the wall.
Tries to
Nice
walk
interrupt.
Crouch dash 3.
Low.
Plant
Double.
Whoop.
Did he get him? Just too late. Just too late. A moment too late. That would have been such a clean whip punish, though. I respect it. He was just a day late and dollar short.
Checks him. Look at these pokes coming through. Half life, just pokes alone.
This, to some degree, kind of reminds me of the Anakin style of play, where you don't really see a whole lot of big combos, big launchers. He is poking you down and using simple moves, and next thing you know, your life bar is melted within 20 seconds, and he's so effective with it. You will not realize that 15 seconds has passed and you're already in rage. What the fuck happened?
Yeah, I mean, Phatboi, that's one of the biggest improvements I've seen in his play thus far, is going from what I would consider a more passive player for sure.
Oh, Volcano Buster! And the version though. I think he baited him. He got baited.
I don't have words.
I think he might have been a little slow.
I couldn't figure out what to
with
say.
the side switch, so he did get the just frame Volcano Buster to get the side switch, but was just a little slow.
frame?
Yes, so you can either get regular Volcano Buster, where you'll get their back turned combo, but if you get just frame Volcano Buster, you can run under, do cross up combo, and still get a full conversion. So he was just a little too slow.
Yeah, you're trying to be
to the
super
cross up.
optimal with that. I like that. Take him to the wall.
Like,
You know,
that absolutely could have turned the tide of that game. 2-1 currently in Blitz's favor. And again, just playing a very solid keep-out game from Blitz. Peacekeeper, just slowly backing up.
Look, and the poke's coming through again. Look at his life bar.
Duck.
Oh, no confirm on that.
Ooh, get punished. Not a big punish, though.
All right. Looking right stance.
Again, just putting plus frames in his face. And slowly backing towards the wall. What a whip punish. Down that down. And kabloosh. That's one for Fats in game 4 here.
Round 2.
My man's literally launched him off of his shoelace.
All right, minus 10.
Just a
No
little too
panic, though.
Actually, I don't think he's able to punish that if it's only an 8 or 10. Because
it's
his
the
fastest
palm.
jab
You
is,
can do the palm.
I believe palm is 11.
Is
Someone
palm
correct me
11?
if I'm wrong.
Technology.
Let's actually take a look.
I got the frame data pulled up right here.
Data.
So,
Ooh, with the whiff of the back 3, but no launch though. Now he's got a life lead, but he is at the wall, so this is pretty
I mean,
not what he wants to do.
the way that Phatboi has been dealing with this wall pressure is kind of just pressing buttons to get out. But
That absolutely whiffed.
the hell was that?
That was a very solid backdash. And again, also keep in mind that
couldn't even
even
tell
though
it was a
Jack
backdash.
is a big body, so depending on the load that you throw at him, it might actually whiff as well.
Yeah.
And that Snake Edge doesn't actually have the greatest range as Edge. So weirdly enough, some lows will whiff on a big body like Jack. Just keep in mind, these big limbs out here actually make his hitbox
They
for arms
shift
out
his-
here.
yeah, they shift his
exactly.
hurtbox.
So they shift the hurtbox of his legs a little further back.
Yeah.
And that's the second time he's capitalized off of that too.
Yeah, I mean, in that particular instance, it didn't even look like a backdash. I thought he like sidestepped it somehow.
It was like a mini backdash.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it looked so clean.
But Phatboi sitting on 2 rounds. Got raised.
Ooh, that was a dangerous one.
All right. Keeps him on.
I think we're going to the wall. Is he gonna spend it? Not quite. What's for breakfast? Oh no, not quite. 5 seconds left on the clock. And the 3 on the 4 round.
Oh, my
not
heart.
quite. You're gonna have to work for this game, but he's definitely making him work for it. Woo. Thus far, again, putting plus frames in his face. Get out of flamingo stance, boss man. Fight me like a man. Ooh, again, try to go for the magic. He's gotten caught trying to whip punish that string with the double axe kick at least twice. I can understand, but that's probably to a certain degree also a slight flaw within Phatboi's playstyle. He'll see a whip, he smells blood.
Yeah.
Now, versus a character like Heihachi, say he does sidestep 2-1. Oh snap! I see sidestep 2 whiff. He goes for the whip. If he's not quick enough, he's taking that 1, and it's going to hurt for Heihachi. So it's a blessing and a curse. His reaction with whip punishing.
I can definitely relate. I mean, as a player, I definitely think that that's one of my personal biggest flaws, is trying to be a little too hasty on the whip punish and getting counter hit by the second hit of a string. But the pressure's coming on. 4 seconds on the clock.
And he's going for the rage art. And he's got 2 seconds left to react if he survives. No,
that boy is
gone.
Final round.
That was unfortunate. Final round on game 4.
Air raid.
Not a full block though.
Tried to whip punish.
I feel like the input did not come out.
A bit of a panic situation from both players.
He's got a slight life deficit, but he can bring it back. Slowly poking him away here. Like the down back 3, even though it's 0 on hit, he still kind of has to hold that. He's got a big life deficit, and he's right outside of range of
rage. He's not playing
and
any
BLITZ
game.
does not want to give him range. I can get
not at all. You can control the space. You've got pretty good buttons yourself. I mean, obviously, big body Jack, able to control space very well, but Hwoarang no slouch in that department either.
Precisely. And mind you, both of them are playing on hitbox, so it's a team hitbox. So I know that the movement's going to be crisp.
Oh, yeah.
I know the movement's going to be crisp.
You know?
Oh, raw debug.
I mean, you better get in there. You have 7 seconds left.
5, 4, 3, and Peacekeeper, that seals it up.
Both players obviously knowing there's no time for...
Now a 3-1 deficit. Again, every single one of these games has gone to final round. But
Round 1.
thus far, probably some of the biggest mistakes have been just a little too much overstanding from Phats. And that last game, it actually could have been an all-round round, but extended a little too much in that final move, and he's able to capitalize with his rage art. Yeah, brought it all the way back.
And BLITZ as a player definitely very good at that.
Yes, sir. Especially with Hwoarang's rage art, it's actually kind of boost. Number 1, it's safe on block. That's stupid. But number 3, he is very hard pressed to drop that combo.
Oh yeah, nah, he's got his execution on for sure.
And again, a really big life deficit here, struggling to work anything with it. And you're gonna be hard pressed to have him try to whip anything either, with a life deficit as big as that. Oh,
as we say that, another one of, there it is, another one of those keep out down forward too. Oh,
no punish. 5 seconds left on the clock again. A lot of these rounds are also going down to the clock.
None of that. I like it.
Definitely a little hesitant to use the rage, which I respect, because he was 100% respecting that low. Probably would have low parried that drive debug as well.
I mean, think about it. He's got 1 second left. What's the only move that loses in the game? You're allowed to buffer a low parry there.
Precisely. Look at this moment again. Very slow gameplay. Most of these rounds at this point are going down to the clock. And the main issue here is that it's always a life deficit on Phats' part, which is not good. Trying to get in on a Hwoarang.
Yeah.
And that's also, to a certain degree, one of the playstyle flaws of Phats. He's a very conservative type player, so you're really hard pressed to have him press a lot of buttons, even when he's down on life.
That is something I have noticed.
So he doesn't really like to scramble, which I get, because you're gonna die faster if you make the wrong move. And again, with Jack, he has 5 seconds left on the clock. He doesn't really have much to work with.
Blitz isn't gonna do anything. Blitz literally could put down the controller and probably still win that round.
Precisely. So at that point, just like the first round, barely 5 seconds left on the clock, such a big life deficit. He's got rage, but he can't do anything with it, you know?
Yeah.
Can't use it as a pushback tool, unlike some other characters. He has to just bet the farm, and Blitz knows it.
Yeah, and again, just going back to the matchup you commented on earlier, but oh my god, as I'm saying, another keep out DF2.
We're going for the Oki.
All right, plus range, tries to no duck on the flappy kicks. But yeah,
he's got a slight life deficit now. This is where he kind of wants to keep it a little compact, right out of range. And he's, again, just getting that life lead back now. He has rage, but will he give him a reason to use it? Oh, but what a clean whip punish with that DF2. Let him watch the slideshow. Order. Oh my god.
I mean, definitely a bit of an awkward exchange from both players. You know, Fat's going for the haymaker launcher, and then Blitz is just trying to do
that was a very solid, and you're not going to really find too many of those scrambles, but it's definitely going to tell a lot about the player's fortitude, let alone their will to win by who can really clutch it out in those scrambles. Yeah. And there's not going to be too many of them in this game, but considering that you've got a very conservative player here in Fats, doesn't really like to press a whole lot of buttons. So in a scramble, it's really crunch time for him, but what a while standing one. So in terms of a scramble one, honestly, Hwoarang has a bit more of an advantage in terms of that.
Round one.
And Jack doesn't really.
Fight.
So that is 4-1 now.
Yeah, I mean, and it was looking close at first, even when Blitz was up like 2-1. Even in the in the gameplay, it was looking close. What's up?
Did that game go to final round or round 4?
I don't think it did.
I think it is actually. That was actually the first game I think thus far that did not go to final round.
Oh, really?
So it's kind of a telltale sign where Blitz is definitely really hard body trying to get this life lead with simple pokes. He hasn't really gotten a whole lot of combo damage. Most of the combo damage has come from Fats with these DF2s. But thus far, he's been poking him out really nicely, getting solid knockdowns, forcing the guess, getting this life lead. But at this point, it's slightly on Fats' side, trying to close it out. We're trying to close the gap here. Barely 10 seconds left on the clock.
I mean, and again, it goes back to that matchup you mentioned earlier. Phatboi not really having a lot of room to maneuver around these pokes from Hwoarang. And again, just waits out the timer.
Like, he's been timing him out almost every single time with a lot of these matches. And if it's not a timeout, then it is 100% barely 5 seconds left on the clock. Which is definitely not going to be good for Fats. For one thing, Fats is definitely the clock master, except in this matchup. He's definitely very conservative, but what I just realized when you think about it, he hasn't chosen Infinite Stage once to really try and run that back step, try and force a whiff. So, interesting, he actually really has not chosen Infinite Stage at all to try and take advantage of those long limbs.
Yeah, I mean, definitely after step players, you want to like pick his brain on that a little bit. Yeah, I'd be interested in it.
I can kind of understand maybe why, because realistically he's gonna have to get used to fighting this matchup on the walls anyway. Similar, in my opinion, to kind of how I started to pick more walls with Fang. At some point I was definitely more comfortable with playing Infinite Stage. Yeah. But it's fine. I excel at the wall. Let me use what my strength is.
I mean, you definitely want to be well versed in all parts of Tekken, regardless of what stage you're playing on. But debug coming at the wall and the punish on the screen.
And you notice how he started to get a little more ballsy with some of these debuggers starting to actually open that can a little bit.
I can't remember him throwing a single debugger.
He threw several. Oh, he's hit several thus far in this game. So he's definitely starting to open up the can a little more and say, yo, hey, debugger might be unsafe, but at the same time, is he giving you a reason not to use it? You know? It's not the safest move, but it's definitely.
But you kind of have to take these risks, especially against a player who's just going to run down the clock versus you like this.
Precisely. Especially with Hwoarang, who has so many reasons and so many ways to get this life lead, keep you out so you don't get anything from it anyway.
And look at that. That's a very telling boot there. Down forward one, immediately tries to keep him out with an arm on me.
Exactly.
KO.
You know.
Again, to final round again. Let's see if we can bring it to
Final
4-2.
round. All right. Let's see if Fats can keep himself alive in this, or is Blitz gonna take the first of 5? Keep out down 4-2. Not
And
connect.
jackhammer a little far.
Keep out down 4-2.
I understand the
Not
bait,
connect.
because he did have success with it, but the
Yeah.
success was starting to dwindle the further the game went on.
I definitely don't think he should stop using it, but
Especially when, again, Hwoarang doesn't really get the biggest
and
pick of it.
again, look at
Nice
the
punish.
look at the back dash.
4-1-1.
That is such a really cool thing that Jack can do in the
Oh,
that needs I think Fats is definitely getting a little flustered.
Ooh, so he's got the life lead here. Oh, that's gonna hurt. He's not gonna quite get to the wall. With the get up kick, while standing floor, spinning the rage.
What's for breakfast? Bop bop.
Oh, and the
Doesn't block.
GG's pokes him out.
You win.
Blitz taking it 5-1. I will definitely say that minus maybe 1 or 2 of those games, he was still able to keep it fairly close.
Yeah, I mean it was an
Overall,
overall competitive set. Like the scoreline says 5-1.